Hello, and welcome back to my review of the Perfect Grade 160th Strike Gundam from the Gundam Seed universe. In this part, we will be assembling the Gundam, checking out its posability, as well as giving it my final thoughts. Gundam itself looks pretty good. All the decals really does make this seem like a very militaristic piece of war machinery. But what can it do for mobility? Well, let's see. For mobility, the head of the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam is on a ball joint, which allows it to go 360, though sometimes the gold motif might get stuck on the side. Exercise caution. It can look up pretty well, look down, look off to the side, no problem. Very good mobility. Now, for the chest can rock off side to side, giving it more kneeling poses. It can lean forward and backwards, but not by much, but it does give Strike Gundam more of a look up and down type of look. Now onto the arms, where it will lift up to hit the head and go pretty far off to the side. Below the shoulder, the arms are on a 360 joint, 360 rotation, and the arms can bend 180 no problem. Now onto the hands, which are Perfect Grade style, completely posable, just like you and me. Now, onto the bottom part, where you get the waist skirts, which go up very well off to the side and back. Which moves on to the leg mobility. It can kick out pretty far, slide back no problem, though it does knock some parts off. It can do full splits, no problem. Now the leg mobility is fantastic, other than it sometimes sliding off. You can get the 180, no problem, as well as having the foot slide down. Next, we have the accessories of the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam, which includes the standard shield, the beam rifle, 2 small armor shrouders, and the awesome giant Grand Slam. The shield of the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam, as you can see, is very close to the anime. You get the Gundam red, the bright yellow, and the grayish, whitish color that the rest of the white is molded in. Now, on the front side, you get a very large decal, which you can put on there, but it's not really sticking on, but it's still a good touch. On the other side, it is molded in completely gray and black, with a bit of yellow poking out here. Now, you get a lot of lining opportunities, and as you can see, some of it's starting to wipe off, but it's still a very nice touch for people who like to go lining. Now, for the actual mount, you pop this part out and flip it around. As you can see, there's a peg right here. Then, you flip up the handle and adjust it according to your hand. Next, you take the hand and open up the hatch and plug the peg in. It plugs in and is pretty secure, and then you latch it in. However, the problem is, the mount right here is not very stable. So, you straighten out the hand, and you slowly, cautiously, and you can slide the hand in, grip the hand together, and you get the Strike Gundam with a very nice shield. And even with the shield, you can still achieve the 180 bend, and it looks pretty nice. Now, this is the beam rifle, also known as the shield's best friend, and it is pretty nice, but be warned, this is painted. I have painted these parts white to match the real grades. Right out of the box, we all molded it in this dark grayish color. Now, there's only one moving part, which is the handle, but it's pretty nice. And overall, this beam rifle looks pretty cool, with a clear part for the scope. Now, putting the beam rifle into the hand can sometimes be a nuisance, but most of the time it works pretty well. Now, first you have to straighten out the hand, or the fingers, and just slide it in, and maneuver the peg in the hand to the hole inside the handle, and push it together, and you can hold it pretty well, no weight issues, but sometimes it does slide open. On the other side of the beam rifle, there is a hole, there is a peg that you can reveal and pull out that will allow for the beam rifle to latch on to the back of the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam. By pulling out this part, you can attach the whole peg and hole mechanism, and it should stay in there. And it stays in their signature weapon. the Armor Schneiders. They come molded together, but they only come molded in this one dark color, the same as the beam rifle. So I decided to paint the blade with the Gundam silver marker, and overall it turns out kind of dull, but it does give it the impression that it's kind of battle damaged. And overall it works pretty fine, and it should fit into the hand no problem, even though it does not have a hole to match the peg on the arm. After opening the hand, you'll simply slide open the Armor Schneiders, put it in, and maneuver the fingers into place. And it has no problems whatsoever holding the Armor Schneiders, and you can even hold them backwards. The ability in this kit makes posing very fun and very easy to do. And the completely posable fingers really help. As you can see, it is rather easy to half replicate the cover art of the Master Grade Age 1 Sparrow, or Spallow, which I'm a big fan of. And these Armor Schneiders really does add a lot of variety. I saved the best for last. The ultimate sword, the Grand Slam. You get a gigantic piece of chrome for this blade, and honestly, this thing is huge. It's like the size of your kitchen knife. Now, this piece of chrome has its side effects. If you touch it too often, the fingerprints will show up, so be careful with that. Now, the Grand Slam works pretty well. It has a slide mechanism, which allows it to slide and swing down to the other side for more of a storage mode, and this part can slide down, but I don't really know who will want to use the Grand Slam like this. Now, the Grand Slam, its handle, does have the pegs and the holes on both sides, but in a limited area. And the hands can sometimes have a problem grasping it. After you slide it into the appropriate knots, you will slide the fingers around it to hold it, but sometimes it does become loose. But majority of the time, if you don't play with it too often, it can stay in there pretty well. Now, because the beam rifle can latch on to the back of the waist section, you can't have perfect grade Strike Gundam with all of his weapons, the Grand Slam, the shield, the beam rifle, and the 2 Armor Schneiders in the side pockets. You can't have Strike Gundam with all of his weapons on him and ready to battle. After all that, it is hard to believe that perfect grade Strike Gundam still has one more gimmick to show us, which is its open hatch gimmick. In order to open all the hatches, let's start from the bottom. On the back of the legs, there are 3 small panels that you can push up to reveal. Next is the main thigh part, which can sometimes be a bit stiff and can get stuck, but most of the time it can pull out. But be careful. I cannot show you how to do it on the other side, because when I was pulling it out, it actually broke, so exercise caution. Next, onto the waist skirt, we will simply pop up the Armor Schneider pockets and go to the back, where we will crack open the mount for the beam rifle. Onto the chest section, we will open the cockpit. There. And then slide open these 2 vents on the chest. Now onto the shoulders, where we will first pull this part up and then carefully slide this part open, as well as the one on the back. Afterwards, you will pull this part up to get the shoulder fully opened. Now, onto the arms, where you will pull open the back of the arms like you would do to mount the shield, and then simply bend the arm forward to reveal this part of the armor. But be careful, if you pull your arm too much, it will slide out. Here is the perfect grade Strike Gundam with all of its hatches opened, and in this form a lot of the inner frame is revealed, and really does make this kit feel like a perfect grade. Now here are some of my final thoughts on the 1/60th scale perfect grade Strike Gundam by Bandai of Japan. Now, some of the negative things that I found about this kit was sometimes that parts break, mainly the V-fins if you drop it too often, as well as some of the open hatch parts. Another negative is that the parts over time become way too loose, especially in the shoulder and the arms, but that can be easily fixed by not posing it too often. Another small negative thing is that there is no action base. Now it's understandable, as Bandai would be able to make more money for the action base, as they included it with the Skygrasper and AO Striker Pack Perfect Grade add-on. Another small negative is the fact that the Grand Slam's handle sometimes can't fit into the Perfect Grade's hand, leading to many big issues, as the Grand Slam is one of the major attractions that really made me buy the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam. And similar to how the Grand Slam has problems being holed, the Armor Schneiders has a problem. When they first come off the plates, they are all molded in the same dark color as the rest of the inner frame and the beam rifle. You will have to use your own paint in order to distinguish the blades from the handle of the Armor Schneiders. Now on to the positives, and the first big positive of the Strike Gundam is the fact that it has great looks. It looks very militaristic and very, very sleek and kind of mean and lean. Another great positive of the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam, it has great mobility. This Perfect Grade really revolutionized the Perfect Grade line with its sliding armor and open hatch gimmick. Another great positive is the fact that this kit has some great extras for its price. You get a giant piece of chrome for the Grand Slam, a beam rifle which is pretty simple but still looks pretty good, a shield which is very colorful and very anime accurate, as well as the armor schneiders, which are very light and are very, very easy to use, and the poses with them usually turn out very well. One of the biggest positives of this kit is probably the build. Many people recommend this kit as their first perfect grade, and I agree. This is a great build. The parts are very big, but there are enough parts to make this kit seem very fun to build, and at times there are some frustrations, but very small, and you can easily fix them. Another great positive of this kit is the fact that it has so many extras. There are a lot of options to posing this kit. You can have all of the weapons onto the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam and still make it look very good. Now, the final positive that I was able to find was the price. Now, if you're paying over $200 USA for this kit, you're probably getting ripped off. This kit retails in Japan for about 14,000 yen, which is roughly $150 in the United States. So if you can pick it up for about 180 on a hobby site online, you're probably getting a very good deal, and you won't be disappointed. Now, I've broken the grading scale of my Gunpla down into 6 sections: articulation, looks, stability, extras, price, and build. For articulation, this kit is great. It gets a 9 in my book. The only small nitpick is that sometimes the shoulder can pop up some armor when you're bending it forward. The looks, I'll have to give it 10. This is great, even without the 3 other striker packs. For stability, I'll only have to give it an 8, because sometimes some parts just fall off, just when you get the right pose. Extras, I'll give a 9. I subtracted a point because they didn't include an action base, which I find sometimes to be very vital when posing a kit. For price, I posted a 8. Because sometimes I found the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam online for as much as $200, and people still buy them, which I find is really unfair, while you can find it a lot cheaper in other places, and is still made by Bandai. And the last criteria, a build, I'll give a 9, because this is a great build, but there are some frustrating parts that you try to squeeze together, but it doesn't fit, and it's not the molding part, it's more of the design. So overall, I'll give this kit an 8.8 out of 10, a B. This is a great kit for your first perfect grade, or if you're just looking for a very, very fun perfect grade build. This is definitely a great kit. And that is a review of my 1 to 60th scale perfect grade Strike Gundam. If you like this review, please comment, like, and subscribe if you liked it. Thanks for watching!